All right, atmosphere. We finished hydrosphere, we're starting atmosphere. I want you to know that the atmosphere, and look at this picture. This is Earth, which I probably should have put not a black portion. This is the thin, tiny layer of atmosphere that represents or surrounds Earth, I should say. So in that atmosphere, that thin, tiny little layer is filled with gases. And you have to know pretty much the majority of the gases and then a portion of some trace, what we call trace, because there's less than 1%. So 78% of our atmosphere is made up of what? Nitrogen gas, okay? And notice how I write the word nitrogen gas for you. It's not nitrogen, the element, it's nitrogen combined with another nitrogen, so N2 nitrogen gas, okay? 78%, and that's an approximation of our atmosphere is nitrogen gas. 21% is oxygen, which is the gas we need in order to breathe, and that's O2, again, oxygen gas. And then 1% is these trace elements or compounds. Argon, what else? Carbon dioxide, and then I want you to know other greenhouse gases. We don't need to name these greenhouse gases yet. We're going to get to that point, but you want to know that there's greenhouse gases that make up our atmosphere, like, well, you don't have to know this now, but to give you an idea, like ozone and CFCs and nitrous oxide, those types of gases. All right, so like the hydrosphere, you had to know every single component of the hydrosphere, the same thing with the atmosphere. So remember that as soon as you lift up your feet from land, you're somewhat in the atmosphere. So the atmosphere surrounds us all. That's what is referenced by the troposphere. The troposphere is the first layer of the atmosphere, and it basically touches land. So it's the closest to land. It's a part of, and they're going to combine. Like if you look at a lot of diagrams of the spheres of Earth, you're going to see that they show Venn diagrams because there's some portions where they're combined and share similarities. What else does the troposphere have or represent or occurs there? What other things? Precipitation, weather in general. So all weather occurs in the troposphere. Yep, layers of the atmosphere. What else? Airplanes fly in the troposphere. We're going to say greenhouse gases, or all the gases we just referenced are referenced in the troposphere. So go ahead and put all gases referenced in the previous slide. They are in the troposphere. What else? I usually don't get this, so I'll just show you. It's actually the smallest. So if you measure the layers of the atmosphere by kilometers or how far they run, the troposphere is the smallest, and it is the most dense. Add the word most there. All right, here's something to think about. Every topic in this class that has to do with air is referencing the troposphere. So everything that occurs in Earth that's harmful or natural, or we talk about in environmental science, we're referencing the troposphere, except one topic. Anybody know what that is? Which happens in the stratosphere. It has to do with UV radiation. And it has to do with what?
The ozone.
Correct. With the depletion of the ozone. So in the stratosphere is sometimes gases from the troposphere make it up to the stratosphere. One in particular that should have broken down that didn't, made it up here and is destroying our ozone layer. Our ozone layer is a protective layer against ultraviolet radiation, and the stratosphere is mainly composed of molecules of ozone, which is O3. So if you don't know that, go ahead and write O3 for the molecule of ozone. As we continue to travel up through the atmosphere, further away from Earth, we get to the mesosphere. What do you think the mesosphere is like? Cold. And then we go higher up, getting closer to the sun. So what's happening here is, as you leave Earth, UV rays come down and infrared rays get re-radiated back up. Those rays produce heat through the atmosphere. As the heat flows away from Earth, it gets colder, and that's why the mesosphere is colder. But as we make it up to the thermosphere, we're getting closer to the sun, and it's getting hotter. It's constituted as the heat layer. And then the last layer, which can be referenced as ionosphere or exosphere, is basically a layer full of ions. And that's all you have to know about those.